Winner bracket semifinal. So the playoffs continue. We have our next best of 5 series. Team Disciple goes up against Team Sven right now. Best of 5, and it should be an interesting one, to say the least. So first of all, Team Disciple, they are of course the team that finished the round robin in the #1 spot, so they did extremely well there. They lost only a single series. Everything else they just breezed through. A lot of the games, a lot of the matches that they won, they were actually taking with 2-0 score, so not even dropping a map. It took quite some time for them to drop a map in the first place. And now they're going up against Team Sven. So it should be a pretty interesting match between the teams here. Team Sven is going to try and fight back and see what exactly they can do in order to win this one. But let's just say this is not going to be easy. But Team Sven was one of the teams that at least took a map off Team Disciple. So it was a close series between the two of them. I would say that the red team had up to that point the best showing, but generally speaking, the blue team, they really surprised very positively and did a stellar job here. Now we're going to Infernal Shrines, our first map. There's no specific draft rules for the tournament here, as you guys might already know, so please keep that in mind. We have just a typical vanilla tournament, and the teams were decided by 6 captains being elected. The captains then, with the help of an auction system, drafted their team out of a player pool of individual players that signed up for the event. We played a 6-team round robin. The top 4 teams advanced, and this is exactly where we are right now in the bracket phase, the playoff phase. And we have a double elimination bracket, so even if you lose the series, you're still in the loser's bracket. You still have a shot at the grand final. We kick things off with Johanna as the first pick, and then we have Team Disciple with Morenas locking in Hanzo for the team. And we get Hogger. Okay. I still have my eyes a little bit on Disciple here because he, again, kind of made a bit of a splash in some of the previous tournaments like the Murky Cup and also the Anniversary Cup, where he played a lot of Ophia, and that worked exceptionally well for them. And even now his Ophia is very rarely banned out, and he oftentimes gets a chance to play her, but he obviously has shown way more heroes than only her, where he can be extremely strong. But yeah, very curious. And Scourge, one of the things that happened a lot with Scourge is that he played Malfurion, and then a lot of Malfurion. And his Malfurion was pretty amazing. Now, Malfurion generally as a healer in this tournament has done very well. We've seen a lot of Rhaegar, lots of Malfurion right now. I would say that those two are probably the top most played healers currently. And Team Sven could ban Malfurion out if they feel that this is, again, what Scourge goes for. But what's first eliminated is Maiev, so Team Disciple is going to get rid of that. With Jojo Blaze over on the red team's front line, you have already, of course, an absolute staple for the last couple of years in Heroes of the Storm. Top-level meta. Jojo and Blaze are just great to keep people alive, and a very beefy front line. They also have that wave clear that you need on the shrine itself to fight for the objective, so all in all, great draft for them. Have the Lightning Shield with Rhaegar as well. It's a pretty fantastic start into an Infernal Shrines draft, so they're going to be happy with what they're getting here. But what's the blue team going to do? With Hogger, you can just ping-pong around on the shrine and lock yourself some shrine minions in that way. They could still go for the triple front line. We get Diablo for Nagrom. Okay, so he's going to start to get some stuns in on all of those walls around the objective, around those shrines. Are we getting Malfurion? Or, yep, we are. Scourge is again on Malfurion. There's actually quite a few people that have already said that they should start banning out Malfurion against him. I'm not necessarily saying that this is going to solve their issues, but Malfurion has been an absolute powerhouse in the hands of Scourge. And, well, he could do it again here. Gives him a bit of control over the entry points towards the shrines, of course, as well. But the next question is then what Disciple is going to play here. Likely we're going to go for double range damage. He can go for a mage now. I pointed Ophia out, but it's not the only one that he can play here. And we get Thrall and Greymane. That's becoming more of a thing here. We have seen Team Dino also play a lot with Thrall in the hands of Cure over and over again in these triple front lines. They have, of course, been popular for a while now. But this triple frontline Thrall play has been, I don't want to say dominant in the tournament, but it has been a lot more present than in other events. And we get Greymane together with that. So Wolfpack action with Rhaegar and Greymane on the same team. As we're about to head into map #1. And there she is! Ophia gets picked by Disciple. And we're off to the races. Ladies and gentlemen, series kicks off on Infernal Shrines. As mentioned, we have Team Sven going up against Team Disciple. The blue team in game number 1 with Disciple, the captain of the team, on Orphea. Absolutely crushing it here. We got the Ancestral Strength on level 1. And he's been, I don't want to say he's been the only one that has been playing Orphea, but he's definitely been the main Orphea player, and he had huge success. Scorch is playing Malfurion, as I already mentioned, and Malfurion is indeed the support that was played the most. A 56% win rate overall. But Rhaegar, played by Banana H here on the other side, is actually not the second most played support. That's Brightwing. Brightwing has been played 14 times at this point. Rhaegar has been played 11 times. Now we get Ubi on Hogger, we got Nagrom on Diablo, Morenas is playing Hanzo for the team, and then over on the right side for Team Sven, we got Uki on Johanna, Azzy on Greymane, Cesabos with Thrall, and Sven with Blaze. Blaze, he's sitting roughly at a 50% win rate. It's actually not quite there. He's at 46% of the win rate. But he has been played 28 times, more than any other hero in the game. That obviously includes the entire round robin phase as well. The interesting part for me personally, just looking at a couple of the stats that we have, generally speaking, for the heroes, this obviously is just homing in on this tournament in particular, and you therefore have, it's not a small sample size, but it's not a massive one either. So you have to always think a bit about, okay, how often were heroes played, how does the win rate reflect? And there is a bit of an outlier hero, to tell you the truth. There are, I want to say, 2 outlier heroes. So one would be Johanna. Johanna has been played 14 times. That makes her the top tank, or the most played tank right now. The impressive part together with this is Johanna is currently at a win rate of 71%, which is crazy. That is crazy high for a tank that has been played this many times. Just to give you a bit of a counter example of what we're seeing here, Diablo, for example, has been played 13 times, so 1 time less, and he has only a win rate of 38%. So basically, not quite, but basically half. So yeah, this is a bit nasty. Sylvanas is in a similar spot than Johanna, has been played a ton, is also sitting at a 76% win rate. So yeah, those two are probably 2 of the biggest outliers here. Now obviously there's some teams that favor them, others that might not have played them at all. So again, keep this always with a bit of a grain of salt. When we're talking about like 20 heroes played, or 20 times played, or 15 times played, that's not the most. But look at that root follow-up again against Banana H. So once again, they go for a kill, and Rhaegar is dead. Nicely done. And that was honestly a pretty cool move once more, also specifically by Malfurion. As mentioned before, Scorch is playing a mean Malfurion and has just showcased that in the last fight where they were able to get that kill. As the camps are about to be grabbed, we now also have another play being made here in the middle. Disciple and Nagrom are still sitting totally tight here, with Nagrom obviously going to be the one to just rock Orphea as much as he can. With the top already getting started up, we now have everybody slowly moving towards the top lane to try and get the first objective. With that kill that Team Disciple got, they have a slight lead in experience. Nothing too fancy. But currently, Team Sven slowly starting to come in here. They go for Nagrom. They want a quick kill before the fight even starts. And they are not able to get it. Blaze is still down at the bottom of the map and is getting the minions, whereas Hogger is trying the same thing. Level 10 ability is obviously something that both of the teams are currently aiming for. And as the attack comes through topside, they're now trying to make their play here, with the camps still active, but both of the shamans now getting attacked and slowly defeated. Talking Thrall again, the level 4 talent unchanged. We have the Frostwolf pack, and we now have them on 2 stacks, as the server is getting a couple of hiccups over here from the looks of it. Level 7 on both sides now, which means that our side laners might even join the fun. And Rhaegar has gone into more of a lightning shield build than anything else. So Rhaegar with the lightning shield, Orphea is just slapping away on the point at the top and is doing her thing here. So with that, they're now in a spot where they have an easy 14 stacks and therefore the lead. The 2 side laners are still sitting in the middle and making their play there. But the attack from Nagrom is trying to cut off Johanna as they go for Uki. And Malfurion gets killed. But Jojo also dead as Hanzo comes in and locks in the shot. Nicely done. Sven Also with another quick jet propulsion, but the red team is now slowly starting to disengage from the battle. The blue team obviously has the problem that they're lacking the sustain now with Malfurion gone, but they still have the upper hand on the Shrine, and they're getting a very quick lead here with 27 to 8 stacks now on Shrine minions, as both Johanna and Malfurion are slowly making their way back towards the objective. Disciple is a little bit low. Definitely needs a heal or two. And, well, as that plays in, another stun. Sven with the jet propulsion as he starts to jump in, and Thrall is gone. Well, sorry, Thrall is not gone. He completes his quest. Thrall completes his quest, is able to pull that off as we have the quick attack coming towards the middle, and they're starting to now make a couple of moves here as well, always in the hopes, of course, to try and get themselves a little bit more on this. So, yeah, things are looking fairly okay as they are baiting the Punisher over the wall for defense. And at this point, yeah, Uki still sitting totally tight here. Defending, comes in and aims for Ophia as they're hoping to follow up on that. Not able to quickly make that happen. Now we got 2 kills to 1. The wall at least destroyed, but that's all that they were able to get. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Blaze is back up to business and is currently doing his thing here, just securing some additional XP for the team because they have a lot of catching up to do. With the objective taken and the damage done at the top, we now have the blue team closing in on level 10. And there we go. So level 10 is ready. That gives us also the Eternal Feast. We got the Shockwave as well. And yeah, 6 minutes into the game. An advantage by half a level for Team Disciple. Now the push straight through the middle as they're hoping to open up another wall with the help of the level 10 abilities. As long as they maintain that advantage, they can push a bit more aggressively, but there's already the gap closed. Level 10 on both sides, and that gives us Sundering. We have, again, Blessed Shield for Jojo and Rhaegar. As much as he teases here, I do not believe we're going to get Bloodlust. I just don't see a Bloodlust play here. Bloodlust is just not the thing that you want to go for. But hey, who knows? Maybe they're trying with some quick and aggressive, decisive plays. If it works out for them, nice. But I would still be a bit surprised if Banana Age doesn't go for Ancestral Healing. So now over in the middle. Yep, there's the Ancestral. So Ancestral Healing is getting picked. And in the middle, they're still pushing this a bit further. The damage output is right now at 20. For Hanzo, and we got 22 on the side, 22,000 on the side of Greymane. And talking Greymane, he might be in trouble. Gets stunned out a few times. Their healing connects. Nice Ancestral, but as he gets killed regardless. And with Hanzo a bit low, Rhaegar wanted to go for the bite and take him down. Wasn't able to do that, but the red team rotated over, so at least the fort is safe for now and is not going to take additional damage. Team Disciple, on the other hand, is currently just doing their thing. So with this, Sven has to bunker up now as well. All the way up at the top. We got Ubi just playing this a little bit safer now for the team. But they still maintain nearly a 1-level advantage over the opponent. And of course, on top of that too, more camps to be claimed. Again, Team Disciple came in as the top team. They won the round robin, they took first place, Team Sven 4th place. So while they gave in the last encounter in the round robin the blue team a pretty tough time, this is now a situation where Team Disciple is again pulling ahead early on. They've been the team to beat so far in the tournament, and that hasn't really changed. So in the early game, they grab the first objective, they get a lead in experience, they have 3 kills to 1. All just small things that are starting to add up over here. But we'll see if they can extend that now that level 10 abilities are available on both sides. Greymane with the Wisdom Duelist on level 7 is starting to slot that in. We have currently down at the bottom of the map, still Greymane pushing this out. Yeah, okay, Nagrom wants the wall stun. And not able to get too much damage in because there's just no follow-up. But they are able to maybe get a kill in the middle. Nope. Lots of damage though with that ult. Damn, the Ophia ult usually never that impactful. But there's the kill on Rhaegar. They get Thrall. Very nice. Quick double kill, and they could make it a triple as they go for Sven himself. And that is 3 heroes down just as the objective is up. And that Eternal Feast, by the way, that just kept hammering on for ages. A really nice combo of Malfurion and Ophia, and that gives another objective to the blue team. And they're already starting to move in, try and get the fort in the middle. as Hogger has pushed at the top a little bit further. So, yeah, right there. Yeah, it was actually pretty sweet. So, get some damage in on the fort at the top. They have to try and save Oogie, so yeah, he's dead. But, well, they're trying to move to the top and attempted to save Hogger. They were too late to the party, but their Punisher finished the job in the middle and destroyed the fort. And Ophia is currently not even with the team. She's at the bottom of the map, pushing for the next fort. But there could be more kills. Sundering is out. That slows down Malfurion a little bit. Nice arrow from Hanzo. Very nice arrow. That actually saves Diablo. So they're able to disengage against the heroes that are pushing for more kills at the top. Ophia got the damage done at the bottom of the map and can now rotate towards the camp, maybe even take that. Pings are already kicking in as the level 16 talents are now ready for Team Disciple. And that puts us into an awkward spot for Team Sven, because not only are they talent behind, they're 2 levels behind. That's a huge gap to bridge. That's going to take them a while. We got the Dead Magic after we got the Invasive Miasma. And Team Sven in game number 1 having a tough time here. So, very quickly, the camps are being stolen. Top side, that's where Rhaegar is still with Greymane, hoping that they can maybe push for a couple of structures here. The problem is that they also have to start defending at the bottom of the map, because once more, it's Team Disciple that is trying to take structures out. Every fort you destroy eliminates a fountain in the middle, eliminates chances for your opponent to tap a fountain, regain mana and hit points, and then fight back. So, yeah. 16 is still the one to go for, and the one to catch up to, which is exactly what the red team is now trying to do. But in the middle, we also have the entire wall here destroyed. So the keep has taken damage through the Punisher earlier as well. And that's a lot of... there's a lot of issues that they're now facing off against. But, alright. As it stands right now, the first thing that we're getting is the... Oh, maybe even the push for Greymane, but yeah, no. I would love to take that camp, I guess, but that's 26 seconds, 25. And I guess that by then level 20 will be there. Sorry, not level 20. Yeah, that would be the dream. That would be the moment where Team Sven is happy. No, level 16 will be ready for them, and I don't think they're going to be that eager to go for it, that they are willing to engage. But they're engaging here. Hanzo jumps out. Blessed Shield misses as they hope to follow up on this. That was a bit of a choke point battle where Cesapos with Thrall and his Sundering was nearly able to create an awesome situation for Team Sven and help Team Sven to take a victory here. Team Disciple is trying to take the fort out so that the fountain disappears, but they are a little bit too deep. They are going for Sven though, and force him to drop the bunker, and Rhaegar dies, stunned and killed, couldn't even drop his Ancestral. Now they're trying for the fort, they're trying for follow-up kills. It's again a disaster for Sven. Just as they draw even in talents, this happens. Greymane is gone. Rhaegar is dead. They're pushing this way past towards Sven, trying to go for Blaze. They get the kill. Jojo is dead too. The fort is destroyed, and they can even push for the wall before they're making a play for the Punisher, which is not active yet, so it's 20 seconds that they have to buy anyway, so that they have to use. And that's just, that's a gigantic lead now. The wall open, the fort gone, the fountain gone. Down at the bottom of the map, like all the forts are now gone. All the forts and fountains in the middle are now eliminated. The middle is taking more damage. The catapult, for example, dropped the keep even lower. We now have 47,000 damage for Hanzo. Greymane still reigns supreme with 49k, but it's not like they can do anything with that. Just raw damage numbers don't do anything for you. You have to do something with it, and they're just not getting the kills. The gap in experience has been widened. We're talking nearly 2.5 levels now. Again, the attack over on the right. Yeah. 10 to 2 kills. And what about Hogger? He's, yeah, getting the team the lead. Seems like the blue team is... I mean, the blue team has really taken their time. They went for additional camps, and now they gave the opponent a chance to fight back, but the gap is still big. Here comes the ult of Ophia. The bunker screwing with it. As he on 30 hit points as he escapes. He can definitely not re-engage here. Ancestral is already out, and Banana Age goes down. So does Johanna. 12 kills, 2-2. They're trying to go for Thrall. Cesapos is dead. Maybe even Blaze is going to go down. But now that we have a Frozen Punisher pushing for the top side keep, this is going to get destroyed 100%. Here comes Sven, gets pushed into a corner and eliminated. So Blaze is gone. This is likely going to mark the end of the keep in the middle. Greymane, they're going to attempt to stop him here. He nearly got a kill on Malfurion though, but then he gets killed. Greymane, he came, he saw, and he died. Veni, Vidi, VG. So, that's the top keep gone. That's the middle keep destroyed. They're going straight for the core. Nicely done. Team Disciple with a very convincing victory in game number 1. A 13-kill gap between the two teams as the blue team, with a very solid performance, locks in the win on Infernal Shrines and therefore the lead in the best of 5 series. Nicely done. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen, is the second map. The red team decided that they want to have first pick and first ban, meaning that the blue team decided the map that we're going to play on next. So once again, Disciple victorious with his Orphea, and Malfurion for Scourge also made it. Honestly, at this point, I mean, people in chat have already said immediately afterwards they need to ban both of them out. The problem is, it's not really how it works. The problem is you don't have enough bans. You can try and pick a couple of heroes away if you can play them yourselves, I guess, but you really have to decide which heroes are the most impactful. Do you ban something that is very meta heavy that they might play, or do you really just focus on only one or maybe two player? And you can't fully ban them out anyways. So you really have to just decide what is the biggest threat to us, what do we feel the most uncomfortable with playing against, and then you get rid of that. And they get rid of Hogger, they get rid of Hanzo, all good choices. But if the blue team has shown one thing, it's that they have some players that are just absolutely exceptional on a lot of these picks. Johanna gets taken again. I've been talking in this tournament multiple times about how much of a huge win rate she has, how successful that hero was. It's the tank that gets made, the tank that gets played the most by far, and she also has a win rate above 70%, which is pretty crazy considering how many games she has been played on. Blaze, still the most played side laner, and here comes Malfurion. So this is one of the things where, I mean, again, Scourge plays other heroes as well, but you could try and ban Malfurion out. I would probably rather deal with Orphea than with him. It just always feels like Scourge's Malfurion is way above anything else that he plays. Not saying that he's bad with other heroes, but I think his Malfurion is pretty exceptional. That's one of the reasons why they consistently pick him, oftentimes very early. But banning Malfurion is something that as a team you don't really want to do. There's too many good supports that your opponent can deviate into that will still add a lot of value. Now we get Maiev and we get Ana for Team Sven. So Banana is picking Ana. His Ana was always pretty bananas, and there's a lot of teams that ban Ana against Banana because they know that Banana's Ana is bananas. But they didn't ban Ana, so that's why Banana was able to get Ana. If, on the other hand, Banana's Ana is able to really have an impact here, we'll see. Depends a little bit also on what kind of damage dealer they're going for. Obviously, we might be looking at a Mage, Gul'dan on Tomb of the Spider Queen provides you with a lot of wave clear that you can use, but they could go for others as well. I mean, they could technically go for Orphea, get a nano boost in, and try and play it out that way. But, okay. So, for... with Sylvana's now banned out, we get Diablo banned. Yeah, I'm not so sure if Diablo is really what Nagrom is going to go for here. They could also go for Varian again. Nagrom has played this multiple times where they were just trying to go for a sniper comp. If you have Nagrom with a taunt on Varian and then Blaze with a jet propulsion plus Malfurion with a root, all you need is burst damage. So, yeah. And you're up against Ana on the other side, so just saying. Could be one of the picks. Doesn't give you wave clear, but makes it pretty annoying in direct encounters here. But they are changing the MO slightly. We get Tyrael now, and we have Gul'dan. So while I was discussing Gul'dan as a potential option for Team Sven together with Ana, we now have it taken by Team Disciple instead, which could end up in the hands of Disciple if they're just swapping things around. But, yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, with the final 2 picks, still need our damage dealers. Tacita, okay, Tacita and Muradin. Jojo and Muradin? We're getting Johanna side lane? I like Johanna side lane. I can talk about this all day. But not something that you see a lot. I would assume that Uki is going to play Muradin. Okay, it gets interesting here. This is getting really interesting. That leaves us again with the final pick. We're going into game number 2, everybody. So, Disciple, final choice. They already have Gul'dan, and he comes in with Malthael. They're going to swap things around a bit too. It's a triple front line right now against the proper double tank that Team Sven is playing. So, ladies and gentlemen, second map, Tomb of Spider Queen. Team Disciple in blue on the left side. We have Disciple on Malthael, didn't swap over. Murenas is the one that plays Gul'dan for them. Scourge on Malfurion, not a shocker obviously. I mean, again, his most played hero by far in the tournament. We got Ubi on Blaze, and then Nagrom on the account. Snaps is playing Tyrael. Over on the right side, this is where it gets really interesting. As expected, Uki has now taken over Muradin, and we have Sven the side laner on Johanna. As he's playing Maiev, we got Banana on Ana and Cesabos on Tacita. So, you might not have seen this before if you follow heroes religiously, also in the past, and you've probably seen a couple of Johanna side lane plays. And one of the things that you want from your side laner is you want wave clear, you want to have self-sustain, and you want just generally them having the ability to, you know, push the opponent back and then later on in a team fight assist the front line, add a little bit of CC to the mix. That is something that Johanna has in spades. She was actually played as a... Oh, that jet propulsion connect. Nice! Very, very nice. Big hit right there. But Jojo has all of these things. She has her shield with an iron skin that she can play around for sustain. She has Laws of Hope, which was now chosen. She has the wave clear with Condemn. And then on top of that, she also has, of course, slows. She provides later on a stun with Blessed Shield, unless you're going for a more aggressive version with a Falling Sword. So Jojo is not a bad side laner, and we have seen this in the past. She's not going to win you the lane, but she's not going to flat out lose it and get totally destroyed there either. And the advantage that you have with her in that position is that later on, as the game continues, you all of a sudden have a front line that consists of 2 full tanks that have an enormous amount of hit points, have sustain, and can just stack CC all day, every day, and really be a problem. That is where Malthael obviously comes in for Team Disciple. But that little play with Johanna on the side lane is pretty cool. And it's also one of those things where you oftentimes don't expect it coming because Johanna gets picked early. You assume, hey, that's the main tank. And then they're just swapping things on you towards the back end of the draft, which is kind of what happened here. Now, is this going to be successful for them? That's a totally different question, and one that we are going to answer soon, TM. But as it stands right now, we'll have a look at the mid-game and what Jojo is doing here. Now, one of the things that we obviously also have to watch out for is a little bit how Banana's Ana performs. People pointed out that Banana's Ana is the most dangerous when Banana's Ana has mana. If Ana runs low on mana, then Banana is not going to be able to play completely bananas. But as long as Ana has mana, Banana's Ana is pretty bananas. So, yeah. Definitely something that we're going to keep an eye on. For now, she definitely has enough mana, so not really a big problem just yet, but could of course become an issue later. That was a nice condemn already. And the follow-up with the Sleep Dart. They try to go for Disciple here. Haven't seen a single kill yet, but we're getting close, and there it is. It's Maiev that falls. The red team with the engage, and then the fight turns against them, and it is a first blood for Team Disciple. They impressed throughout the round robin, and they are just continuing here in the playoffs. Again, they're the #1 seed. This series is the #1 seed against the #4 seed. It is the winner bracket semifinal. The winner will advance, and it's time to see if Team Sven can somehow take him down. And again, as I said before, in the best-of-3 series that was played in the round robins, Team Sven got close. They actually got close. They won a map, and it was a close third one too. So something to consider here. I would definitely not write them off completely, but of course the favorite as we headed into the series is and was the blue team. 23 stacks for Gul'dan as he started things off with the Pursuit of Flame, followed up by Consume Soul. Muradin gets bullied around a little bit over here. Went also again for the Epstein skin. which I still think is a little bit... I can't believe that Blizzard actually brought that skin in. Wanna have some candy? I mean, really, Blizzard? Really? But, okay. Not judging. We need that list. I'm sure Muradin is on it. 100%. He was on that plane. He was on that island. I have no doubts. Skullcracker on level 7. As we now have also Tassadar with the Psionic Echo. 10 stacks for Johanna with Steed Charge on level 7, which we actually see a little bit more often right now. And as an escape tool, that's obviously an absolutely incredible tool to have. Just saying. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. Jojo, by the way, gives you also a few more options on the map. One of the reasons why we oftentimes see her as the proper main tank is, of course, that she has also interrupt potential on any attempt to turn in from the opponent. And that just gets added to why she is a real nice asset for the team to have right now. So, enough gems for a turn-in on both sides. 24 and 39 have already been turned in, but Ubi is about to deliver, and that leaves them just 3 short of a full turn-in. But if Nagrom doesn't interrupt this quickly, and he doesn't, then it is the red team that indeed gets the first objective. Web Weavers for Team Sven. This is the opportunity right now. This is their chance right there. 13 stacks for Jojo. Muradin with the jump. Maybe a bit too aggressive. Uki gets the heals from Ana. Thank God she has mana. And Jojo survives. So does Muradin, by the way, who was a real target. Johanna dying would have been a little bit awkward because she was all the way down at the bottom of the map without any resistance. So, yeah. But yeah, she might be able to actually deliver another minion wave here. Level 10 abilities are going to come in for the next objective, I guess, and then we're going to get likely last rights. So once again, the attack against Tyrael. Not successful. Was able to jump out. Jet propulsion connects. Maiev. These root follow-ups are just brutal. But also, again, I mean, we're joking about Bananas Ana the entire time, but I gotta say, yeah, he is just excellent on this hero. And honestly, at the same time that we're making fun of it, be happy that I talk about Bananas Ana, not Bananas Banana, because that would be a little bit like, yeah, gay. Now, level 10 kicks in. Last rights is ready. We're getting Horrified too. We have down at the bottom of the map, Ubi and Nagrom helping out on the camp. Nothing really too crazy that's going on down there. They just snapped the siege giants real quickly. Nobody was trying to intercept that, so they just simply stopped by, helped out, and then moved out towards the top. By now, we're also looking at Archon as the level 1 talent, Blessed Shield for Jojo. That was a bit of a question mark, of course, if she would go into the Falling Sword, but not so much. With that now, we get the disc. And a couple of them are still holding back here. For example, with Ana, I would honestly be surprised to not see Nano Boost, considering that they're running Tassadar here, so why would you go for that? Is he really going to go into the sniper mode? Muradin has also not made a choice. Given that they have a double tank at the front, he could definitely go into Haymaker instead. But here's the objective for the blue team now, as they're trying to push for structures. And they're doing some solid damage as they're coming in, taking down the walls, and especially the mid lane is in some real trouble. The red team's objective has basically done nothing. A couple of walls got knocked out, but that was it. Here, on the other hand, that's big damage in the middle on the fort. And then, while this happens, Tyrael jumps out. Okay, Stormbolt connects. Not enough damage to get a kill here, though. They threaten him quite nicely, but that's not a kill. But as I was about to say, down at the bottom of the map, we've seen also another fort taking a lot of damage here. So it's not only the one in the middle that was heavily attacked. Yeah, Cesarboss also sitting tight right now at the top lane, helping to defend as the wall got destroyed. The fort at least is safeguarded. Yep. And, well, with that, we're now having Maiev coming in. They're always trying to get these tether kills, maybe into a Stormbolt. They haven't been able to make that happen. Here comes the Horrify on the other hand. They're trying for Maiev. She's in trouble. And Azzy with a disc should be able to get out here. Tries to disengage and is able to pull away. Blaze, though, he's starting to take down the fort at the bottom of the map. And, ooh, Malthael, Eye of Horus, and Playmaker. And Malthael is gone. And, uh-oh, 47 gems for Tyrael, and he loses every single one of them. Tyrael is down, and that's a ton of gems lost. Ubi is also, has to be careful down here. He was about to try and get a turn in with the 22 gems to at least safeguard those, but yep, not happening either. We got level 13 talents now on both sides, but this is where the red team is really starting to take a bit of a lead. Taking 50 gems, I mean, it's basically an entire turn in that they eliminated by getting those kills. 2 kills to 1. Red Web Weavers coming down again. That's the second objective that we are seeing for Team Sven. And down at the bottom of the map, 25 gems now for Blaze. So needs to be quite careful when he starts to engage. If he drops 2 and they lose those as well, that's essentially their ticket back into this. But the jet propulsion, beautiful. Blessed Shield is out, as we also saw Tyrael go for his ult. That was a nice jet propulsion plus root that we saw there. Not perfectly synced up or anything, but they just on point hit the 2 targets, and if the damage would have been there at the time, that could have been a few kills. Last Rites came out, but didn't result in a kill, therefore no stack for Malthael on level 10. The big aggression at the top again, as we have Team Sven jumping in mega aggressively. Horrify on Ana, but that's the only one that really connects with. Blaze is defending down at the bottom of the map, but Malfurion gets killed. Muradin is able to jump out, and Ana with a big pew 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 here as she keeps everybody alive. Don't forget, there is a reason why Ana was banned against Banana for ages. I mean, that's where all that memeing started, but banning Ana against Banana was a thing in every game for weeks, because his Ana is just totally bonkers and will destroy you. You have to be able to somehow deal with this, or he is just going to keep the team alive throughout every single fight and wreck you. And that's also a time where we then saw Falling Sword emerge a little bit more often, where Ana was directly targeted in team fights, people attempting to flank in against her. But currently, he is doing a great job sitting in the back line and ensuring that everyone is alive and well. The funny thing is that with everything that has happened so far, and also the turn-in, Team Disciple hasn't lost a fort yet. There's 2 forts down on the red team side. And Team Disciple is also in the leading experience. So it's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. In kills, the red team is ahead. They are ahead in objectives, but they've fallen behind in structures, and they've fallen behind in experience. So it's a little bit wild. It's kind of crazy how this is currently working out here. And, I mean, kudos to... well, sorry, right at the top. Horrify is out again. But yeah, kudos to the blue team for making all that happen. Here's the drain! And Morenas gets out, but yeah, he kept himself alive here as Malthael gets targeted again and dies. So another kill picked up by Team Sven. They might lose Azzy though. No, Maiev is fine. Muradin is also jumping out. Jojo is coming in too. But yeah, she's also still alright here. So, with that, we now have in the middle of the map, yeah, the camp still pushing a bit. It's all about the turn-in, honestly, because the blue team really wants to get the next turn-in for themselves. They only had 1, the opponent had 2. They're threatening a 3rd. And if you are on the side of Team Disciple, then of course you want to have also a say in the matter and get some web weavers for yourself. Eliminate that final fort at the top, eliminate another fountain, and start knocking on those keeps. But so far, that hasn't happened. So, for the time being, we have 52,000 damage for Gul'dan. There's again the isolation, and Tyrael is dead as Blaze turned in at the bottom of the map. Tyrael is going to be back in 34 seconds, but that's a bit of a setback. We have the turn-in for the blue team, but they lose their tank. Playmaker, big success here, isolating the opponent completely. Muradin, hoping to take down that fort at the top directly. I think the Web Weaver and Blaze are going to be able to save that bad boy, so for now it's still going to be standing. And there's no catapult pressure against this. But the aggression that we could have expected from Team Disciple with this objective has now, of course, been more or less shut down, since Tyrael is not going to help out a lot. Fort at the top, doable. Should still be able to take that out. But right now, the disc comes out. Nice. Yeah, and they're trying to... with Tyrael now. Oh, if they can get the kill on Muradin, that would be big. Muradin is low, and the last rites to seal the deal. That's the 5-second cooldown reduction on his level 10 right now. And they're instantly following up. They want banana, and they get banana. Nice. So, Anna is gone. The fort at the top has been destroyed, and they open the side wall up a bit. They obviously want to go for the boss right now. With the 5 versus 3 on the map, this is the perfect opportunity for them to get there. 33 stacks also for Jojo. Just as a bit of a side note. That is really, really strong. So having that allows her now to get 35% of the HP back right there. And with the boss taken, they might even be able to take down the keep at the top lane. 14 minutes in with a decent push. Doable. Tassadar on 41,000. Somebody might turn in here. 19 gems? Nothing to sneeze at. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if he does that first and just tries to turn in here. But seems like he's trying to prevent Maiev from moving back too quickly. So Maiev is currently still missing at the top. Had to disc as well. And with Blaze not here either, they're obviously not going to fully commit to anything. They're going to let the boss do its damage. It's not going to be able to take the keep out, but it allows for more space on the map where they can now go for the Siege Giant camp at the bottom of the map. And then in addition to that, we also have Gul'dan active on the left, getting the next camp. They can turn in the gems that they're currently holding. 36 all in all. 68,000 damage by now from Gul'dan, so really bringing the numbers here for them. Still crazy. Again, the kills are there for Team Sven, and they had some great moves, but they haven't taken a single fort out yet. This will fall eventually, or at least you would assume so. Maiev, Muradin, whoever comes in here to get another hit, should be able to drop that. But the fact alone that we are now in a situation where the blue team gets the early level 20, it's kind of bonkers. Haymaker is out there. They go for Disciple, last right, and unimpressed. Muki is able to get out. 500 hit points still there. Disc is ready. Tyrael gets attacked. Anna's not going to be able to kill him. She's been trying. She's been trying to take him out. Not able to pull that off. So now we have, with level 20 and the Storm Talents, the initial push. Failing might be the wrong word, but it didn't really do a whole lot for them. They were hoping to get the kill on Muradin, and then they could have gone for the topside keep. But as is, they want to continue a little bit more towards the turn-in. Sven is getting closer to unlocking another reward on his level 1 talent, so one more globe is all that he needs. And he's going to be even... he can top his hit points off even further. And here we now have the chance to hit the level 20 talents. Rewind is in, Blessed Shield gets updated. We got the blue team now with Web Weavers, and this is going to be the bigger chance, because now they have all 5 back up on the map. Earlier, they lost... Oh, if they can get Tassadar here. That's 30 gems in his hands. Tyrael, is he going to come over and try and shut this out? Yep, they're going for Cesarbos, and they're going to get that kill, and that is 30 gems gone. Disciple might fall as well, drops the quick last rites, and is able to survive thanks to Malfurion. Once again, Scorch and the heals, keeping everybody in play. Web Weavers are now moving in, and they do not have Tassadar, who is one of their main sources of siege damage. The main source of siege damage. So this is going to cost them keeps. Team Disciple, again, with an absolute stellar game here, as they are coming in. They're taking out the keep in the mid lane. Bot lane still getting attacked. Top lane has taken damage too, but it seems like we're going to see a second keep fall for sure. Maybe a bit more. If they can go and get another kill here, they might just go and drop that core. Sven is getting attacked. 27 gems that he's holding. Keep at the bottom of the map is gone, and now it's time to try and go for game number 2. They're coming in on the core, and damn, this thing is falling fast. Oh my god, Malthael is gone, but who cares? Sanctification is out, and that's a victory on the second map for Team Disciple as they take the 2-0 lead. GG. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Game number 3. So we're going to Volskaya Foundry. Team Sven unsuccessful on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They decided that they want to play on Volskaya Foundry right now. Not really the most popular map, but hey, if they are able to get a victory here and bring us to game number 4, then I am going to be happy with it. Now, are they adjusting their ban patterns? They went for a really interesting draft on the second map and they decided they wanted to play with Murden and with Johanna. Now they ban Alarak again, another hero that can of course get just mad stacks towards the late game and was addressed with a lot of the knockback bonus and all of that stuff in the recent patch. But Alarak gets banned, Malfurion and Orphea both still up here for potential picks. And, well, let's see how Team Disciple is now going to play this. They have match point. This is a best of 5 series. We have a losers bracket as well. If Team Sven should not be able to start a comeback, then they would be in a lower bracket and can still make a run for the grand final. But Team Disciple would then move on to the winner bracket final right here, as we have a Vala banned out, which is a bit of a shame. I would have loved to see Vala. Even with an arrow build on Volskaya, you can get lots of stacks and real big damage, especially on that early connect, of course, with a quick double arrow, thanks to your level 4. But what else gets banned? They ban Zeratul. Yeah, and what is first pick now for Team Disciple? What are they valuing high enough on Volskaya Foundry? Are we just going to get that Blaze pick or something else? Blaze on the side lane, fantastic. Jojo as a main tank, another great choice. So they could definitely go for either one of those if they just want to go with the stats and with the most successful heroes that we had so far in the tournament here. But as first pick, we get Stitches. Okay, Nagrom goes for Stitches, and not even as a bit of a hidden pick later on in the game, but right off the bat they're showing their cards here. This could be played with Medivh, and that's why they pick Medivh away. So Team Sven is forced to pick Medivh. At that point, they were in a spot, either we pick Medivh or they pick Medivh. It's gonna be a thing. So they go for Malfurion and for Medivh. Medivh obviously also a pretty decent counter against Stitches because you can always portal up and try and save the target with a shield. But that was the quick reaction right there. And I like it. Like, teams have definitely done their homework here. And it's getting interesting. There's Tyrande, so this time we're not getting Malfurion. Instead, we have Tyrande for a stun follow-up after Stitches is able to connect the hook and gorge. And then Chen on the side lane, which can, with his Keck, easily create some space for Medivh, like, so that Medivh doesn't portal in, that you just get the target killed without anybody interfering. So oftentimes in the past you would have done that either with a kidnap combo with Medivh and Stitches. You could have done that with Falstad, who gusts out. There's a few more tools that are of course possible. Even Anduin, just like Stitches gets a hook, gets a gorge, Anduin stands a bit farther back and then gets a pull. Anything that increases the distance between the gorge target and the defenders that are trying to save him. But yeah, that could get interesting. Now, Vikings banned. Pretty okay ban against Sven. I mean, Sven has been playing Vikings, Samuro very impactfully. Hanzo got banned on the other side, so as a follow-up for whatever Tyrande and Stitches are going to do. There's Samuro, by the way, just talked about it a second ago. And they take Orphea away as well. Yeah, I think a couple of these they have really been forced into. Again, Malfurion gets picked so that Scourge can't play it. Tyrande is his choice as a result. We get Orphea banned, picked away. And it's just, yeah, it's just glorious right now for them. I just don't know if this works for Team Sven. Just don't know if that actually works for them. Disciple with Cassia, and we get Khaldor. So now you have another CC tool in your chain. After Stitches gets the hook, you have the Gravity Lapse as well. So, yeah, they got a lot here. And that leaves us with the final choice. We technically still need a main tank for them. Plenty to go around here. Jojo is not bad against Stitches either. You have an Iron Skin that you can use to dodge out on some hooks, for example. But, yeah, there's still... Not a single tank was banned. You got the lot to pick from. So, we get Garrosh. And, well, that sets up the game. Volskaya Foundry, everybody. It is Team Sven against Team Disciple. Match point for the blue team. Can they follow through here and win this series to move on to the winner bracket final? We're going to find out right now. The blue team on the left with a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series. They have match point now as Morenas plays Khaldor for Team Disciple. We have him with Mana Addict on level 1. Ubison Chen, Disciple himself, the captain of the team, is playing Cassia. We got Nagrom on the account Snaps with Stitches and Patchwork Creation. And Scorch is playing Tyrande now that Malfurion was picked away from him. Team Sven on the right side with the man himself on Samuro for the side lane. We got the body check for Uki Scarosh. Banana's playing Malfurion. We got Azzy on Orphea, trying to steal Disciple's champion away from him. And Cesabos on Medivh. And as was pointed out immediately, the last time that somebody tried to steal Orphea away so that Disciple couldn't pick it, it ended up with a loss for that team. That was actually Dino in the round robin phase. On level 1 for Cassia, we're getting Thunderstroke. So, gonna get some stacks as well on that. And down here, yeah, Sven, careful. Okay, they're trying to go for Ubi. Sven is a menace on that hero. A little bit of early game aggression here with some portal action. The problem is obviously that you're running up against a lot of CC. And that is going to be increased once that we're getting Stitches with Pulverize later, once Gorge is in. But even the Gravity Lapse right now is already helping out a lot. And yeah, still of course the roots from Malfurion. Banana is not only good on Ana, he can also play pretty mean Malfurion. Devour, nice. But still the portal. They want Stitches and... oh, they got him. They actually got him. No counter kill. They were trying, but they weren't able to pull it off. And now Tyranda's in trouble. Even with the Gravity Lapse and the stun that comes from Tyrande herself. That was a bit of a problem for a second. Some decent stacks also for the first 1.5 minutes for Medivh, which is obviously nice. He's working on his baseline. But when we're talking about stacks, one thing or one hero that benefits, of course, from total chaos and like brawling in the early stages is Cassia. Cassia has been doing pretty okay in those fights. And she's now sitting on 14 stacks. So some more brawls like this would definitely benefit her. If that happens around a checkpoint, for example, that would already also be pretty sweet for her. So down at the bottom of the map, the attack's still coming. Another hook hitting the minion. We got level 4 talents kick in. That gives us, of course, Indomitable for Samuro. We got Way of Illusion and then Mirage. So speccing very heavily into this. Objective is about to be announced. And Stitches has gone for Tenderizer on level 4. Now, we get the Energy Royal for Khaldor. And the cooldown reduction, actually, if you connect with the target, is also a pretty sexy tool to have. If you're looking at big team fights, the 5 versus 5 action, if you can just throw out Gravity Lapse a couple, like more frequently in general, just a couple more times during a big battle, that's always fantastic. I mean, CC is king. And we've seen that in so many other compositions, and in this one they're going to try and utilize that too. Up at the top right, we now have the next camp about to be claimed. Obviously the checkpoint is now opening up, so teams can go in for this. The one thing that both teams are still guarding a little bit is... oh, that's a flip! Nice! They open the side wall up and take the tower down, but Nagrom is still going to die. Yep, Nagrom goes down. Well done by Garrosh. He's definitely not skipping leg day. Lift from the knees, my friend. But they're staying on Tyrande, and they even pick up the turret. Well done. Team Disciple now with 3 deaths in the early game. Behind in experience, level 7 is ready for the red team. And yep, that hurts. That actually hurts a lot. So now they find themselves in some trouble here. This is making things a bit more awkward because, right, well, for the blue team, for the red team, this is absolutely fantastic. This is exactly what they want. And they just started to mirror the draft that we so far seen from Team Disciple, and it seems to be working out. Now, once that we have Stitches come online, the situation might change a bit, especially after level 13 when he has the hook range increase. Wasn't able to get the connect there. They got Sven super low, but they weren't able to get a kill. Cassia still with good stacks, 26. So, not too bad. In the middle, 11 stacks for Morenas. That's obviously another thing. You want to complete that level 1 quest as quickly as you possibly can for Khaldor, just simply so that you have the survivability and you get your shield. The gap in experience has actually been reduced. More than I thought they would be able to this quickly. But yep, they were still going for the side lanes. And the objective is about to be contested. So while we have some top side action, as they're going for Khaldor, they want to kill on Morenas, and they get him. They also got the Protector. Protector in the middle has been taken. 4 kills to 0. Yeah, honestly, maybe it was just a map choice for them. They decided this time that they wouldn't go for first pick for Sven, but that instead they would just simply go for the map choice, and it's so far working out for them. Team Sven is starting to take a pretty significant lead in this game. They have now essentially 1 level lead, and with the help of the Protector, who has to only go up against Jen at the bottom of the map, this is likely going to be the first structure that gets destroyed. So, bot lane, that's where Sven with Samuro can also wreak havoc later on. But that one's taken out quickly. That's 1 fort gone. That is... I mean, that's strong. For the first objective, for the first Protector, this is really nice. Medivh hasn't completed his quest yet. But we have level 10 abilities for the team now. Which also gives us the Illusion Master for Samuro. And, yeah, talking about Samuro. He will most likely push at the bottom of the map very, very aggressively throughout this. Now, same time, we're having level 10 abilities kick in for the blue team. And this is where it gets a bit more interesting. Because now we have Valkyrie, we have no Gorge. I really thought they would go for some isolation plays with a hook Gorge and then using the Keck to just push everybody back. But that doesn't seem to be the case. So they're playing more around Valkyrie and about the Keck plays, but they want to have Putrid Bile instead. Now, that is surprising. So, they got the slows and everything, but let's see if that works. Also going to be interesting how they're going to play it out with Valkyrie. If he's just going to YOLO that out, or if they're waiting for either the Gravity Lapse for Khaldor or from Tyrannus stun. Especially with Khaldor and his Gravity Lapse, I really expected them to play around Gorge. Oh, that hook! Imagine that on level 13. That would have been a guaranteed hit. But, yeah, not long enough. That's what she said. So, with that, ooh, there's the ley line, and yeah, there's the big chomp and kill. Tyrande and Khaldor both dead. Now they try to get out with the Putrid Bile, but that's already 2 heroes down the drain. That's 6 kills to 0. This is not a great game for Team Disciple so far. Far from it. They're having some serious troubles on this. 6 kills to 0, soon level 13 for Team Sven. And yeah, mad issues. Down at the bottom of the map, Disciple is fairly solo against the Illusions. Great to stack, but unless they're getting into a point where he can absolutely wreak havoc on the late game, it's not going to be enough. They want to kill against Malfurion, and I suppose this one they're going to get. Would be a bit of a shocker if Banana would somehow survive, even with the portal, but no, he goes down. So this is the first kill that Team Disciple was able to grab in this game. Now, we have 25 stacks for Medivh. We have 53 for Disciple at the 8-minute mark. So it's a little bit ahead of what we normally consider to be a decent stacking progress for Cassia. Yeah, and if they can continue that, you know, maybe Cassia is going to be the answer. But right now we have her at only 12,000 damage. Mainly for the reason that she again found herself on the side lane against the Illusions to try and keep Samuro at bay and stack a little bit. And didn't participate in the team fights. But you compare that to Ophir, for example, and it's obviously a very different picture. So right now, there's still a level gap. Roughly, not quite. But they have the quicker rotation towards the top and they're trying to take those forts out. The next objective spawns topside, so if you can remove the fountain, I mean, even better. So, Disciple still stacking. One hit after another, continuously getting his value, and can then try and use that in a team fight. But instead of joining the 4-man at the top, we're now seeing the battle in the middle once again. And as I said, Disciple is just stacking. They're honestly at this point looking like what they are planning to do is allow Cassia as much leeway as she possibly can. The rest of the team is trying to put up proper fights, try and stay even with the opponent. But your trump card in the late game is supposed to be Cassia. And they're already doing some good work here against Garrosh, for example. I'm just not sure if they can get the kill with it. But they definitely forced a couple of abilities out with these plays. but Uki is able to get away. Unless, of course, Sitch is now able to body block him and maybe get another hook in after he attempts to escape. Yep, and there it is. The kill on Garrosh. So Garrosh is gone. As again, the chomp, but only against Stitches, who's not really too impressed by it. Level 13 gave us the range upgrade, and we also have Meat Hook. So, yeah, Team Disciple is looking a little bit better here. Not looking too horrible. There's the push at the top. For the wall. We have now 63 stacks already for Cassia. Nothing crazy, but it's there. 35 stacks also for Medivh. Let's not forget about that. Medivh only needs 5 more hits, and he is done with the quest. Which he definitely wants. This is not really the moment where you are okay with losing that anymore. Not only because you lose the stacks, but also we are way too late in the game for that. 66 stacks now for Cassia. Level 16 is in. Talking about Cassia, so she's now sitting at 20,000 damage. So I talked a little bit earlier about her damage numbers. She was only at 12,000. So in that short period of time, she locked in 70,000 damage and has surpassed Khaldor as the main damage dealer. Ophia, the ley line out, as she was in trouble. Still totally fine now, though. And the next objective, they can still play for it. And Samuro is doing what Samuro does. He is consistently sitting on that side lane and will be a menace here. So, yeah, if you give Sven all that time, he is going to use it. So, 69, nice stack count for Cassia. But their play here is pretty clear. Now, we get Ignite. Quest for Malfurion, for Khaldor is obviously completed too. We also have the static electricity, and it seems like if they are not soon willing to fight into a 5 versus 5 at the top lane, then they will have to give up the second protector as well. There's the hook, the stun a little bit too short. They still jump in with Chen, Fat Illidan, trying to make a move on this. But here comes the ley line. Hits for Cassia's coming in. Hits the Valkyrie. Nicely done. Malfurion has to use everything he has in order to save Garrosh. But Yuki might still die. And he's about to. Gets an insane amount of heals though. Ridiculous. And now Ophia comes in. Wants the kill on Khaldor and nearly gets it. Another long hook. But the shield and the portal are out immediately. Stitches as a first pick was pretty neat, but with Team Sven reacting instantly to pick Medivh away and not allow the blue team to take them both, that really also helped them to counter everything that Stitches is currently doing here. These hooks, they're coming, but the follow-up is just not strong enough at this point. Once again, Medivh a little bit low. Yeah, quest complete. Time to feed. But he doesn't die. They are getting closer and closer to kills, though. The problem is that the blue team is just always... they're always facing off against these ley lines and all of those shenanigans. Somehow Khaldor survived again. 91 stacks now for Cassia. There's a couple of crazy things happening here. I mean, some of these heroes should have died 50 times over. And Ophia finally does. I mean, seriously. How long did that take? That fight lasted a minute or more. And nobody died until now. They go for Uki, and he still makes it. Gets a shield before the living bomb drops him. It's just bonkers to me that they were not able to kill more heroes. Honestly, both teams should have at least lost 3 in my eyes. But as it stands right now, it's 3 kills to 6. Samuro comes in. Cassia is now sitting at the top. Sven making some plays, but Scorch is still looking totally solid here. And they want that fort in the middle. As a catapult at the bottom of the map pushing currently. But they have a chance to at least take one fort out, and they are about to get exactly that. Fort gets destroyed. Cassia, as I said, is at 97 stacks now, so very nice damage from her. Can't compete with what Ophia is bringing to the table, but she is the second highest damage dealer in the game. To be fair to Khaldor, he is catching up. So Khaldor is actually getting closer, but the gap in experience still exists here. Disciple will get mad stacks as the game continues. Yeah, for sure. I still expect that we're going to get at least another 5 minutes out of this game, even with level 20 approaching. But if that's the case, then we're going to get some mad stacks for 100%. Cesar Boss might be in trouble. Gravity lapse, and that should be the end of Medivh. He has a shield, but he dies. Nicely done. So finally they eliminate Medivh. And honestly, with Medivh gone, this might just be the moment where you can make a couple of plays for yourself. And because you don't have to deal with the portal engages anymore, you don't have to deal with Garrosh anymore that gets portaled into you and then throws the target over, isolates it or anything. So right now they're trying for the fort at the top. And if they take this, then they're actually pulling ahead in structures. So, yeah. And it's not looking too bad. Experience-wise, they're still a bit behind. There comes the taunt with the Warlord's Challenge. But Putrid Bile gets used. And Stitches is fine. They are attacking the fort. They are going to take that, especially with the next minion wave that is currently moving in. Medivh is down for another 18 seconds, so that means you also don't have to deal with those pesky ley lines that are coming out all the time. And you might be able to pick up a couple of kills. They're trying for Fear, and this time there's no shield, there's no portal, there's no ley line. There is a Malfurion though, and that apparently is enough to ensure that Ophir doesn't die. Instead, we have no! Chen makes it. It's Stitches who becomes the target and gets killed. Wow. Holy crap. How did Team Sven make that happen? Team Sven, absolute survivor mode here. Great job by them. And an unexpected situation that they turned. I thought for sure this fort is gone, that there's no way they're saving it. But not only did they save it, they also got a kill in the process. So, yeah, not bad. Some of these fights are just crazy. I mean, they seriously are. Level 20 talent on both sides now. Khaldor has taken over the top damage on the blue team side. Cassia still looking strong. But we now have Flamethrower in, the Energizing Brew. We got the Shooting Star and we got the gift from the Bomber. So, yeah, we'll see how much Stitches can do with this. Cassia has surpassed 100 stacks. She's sitting at 107 now. And then on the other side, we get the Inner Rage for Garrosh. And also Medivh cheating with the level 20 talent, but we're already used to this. Okay, so this is where it starts to get even more spicy, because now we have the Protector, and they're already going for the fort in the middle. Protector is currently being piloted by 2. Yeah, now that we have Ophir joining Garrosh. Very quick damage done. That fort is still gone, but they're dropping this bad boy down to 50% within seconds. So, yep, very, very nice. Stitches, that would have been awesome. Imagine if all of a sudden... Stitches should get like an upgrade that he can also like hook this stuff. But, yeah, not really working out here. They're still trying to play around the Protector at least a little bit, but obviously you're giving up a lot if you put 2 heroes into it. And, yeah, Cassia can also use it to stack, which she is doing. That's 119 stacks right now, looking at 120. Boah. I don't think that Disciple is going to be able to break... Where is the record, actually? Was the record at 200? Like, what was our record in stacks on level 1 for Cassia in normal games, not in ARAMs? Dino at some point had 160, I remember that. But I think there was somebody... It might have even been Disciple that was able to surpass that and made it close to 200. I'm just not quite sure if they surpassed 200 stacks. But this could be one of those games, depending on how long it lasts. This, on the other hand, Khaldor's insta-killed like this, that's a disaster. That's something that you just can't afford in a situation like that. On the other hand, Ophir nearly dies. Quest completed for Stitches here. So, yeah, that's going to help, at least for now. They try again, and Cassia is dead. Got a few more stacks out of this, but obviously not really worth. So we have all of the displacement from Garrosh as well. And that's a 5 versus 3 on the map now for Team Sven. Their best chance so far to make a massive step towards the first victory in the series. And these hooks, honestly, the Stitches impact, we had a couple of nice moments, but let's just face it. He didn't have a lot of great... situation. I mean, there weren't really a lot of great moments where you could see Stitches get an insane hook and then make a big play. So now it's 10 kills to 4, and that seems like it's going to be game. There has to be this question, the question of the choice of the level 10 talent for Stitches. I honestly don't know if this was maybe even a misclick, but be it as it may, the impact of Putrid Bile was tiny in my opinion. So didn't really look too strong. Game is not over yet. They still can defend here, especially if they can get some kills, of course. But the core is down to 87%, and it's going to get more and more difficult for them to bring this back. They go for a Fear again. Stitches is low, tries to get away here, and gets murdered. This time is down for the entire duration. They have at least Cassia back, so the damage is here. Well, forget it. She gets flipped, killed, and that should be it. As long as she survived, they can defend. But without her, it's going to be a massively uphill battle. Stitches is already back. Yeah, still massively boosted also by that level 20 talent. But still, without their main damage dealer, or without one of the main damage dealers, it's going to get tricky. The Panda is in trouble. I think they can save Chen. But what about Khaldor? Gets slapped, gets the shield slapped again. The helping hand is too late. As he gets attacked too, can they at least take Orphea down? If she dies, maybe they can save the game, but it's just an endless brawl right now. Only 2 survivors, big damage done, but Stitches dies once again. It's just too much. The pressure that we see from Team Sven is too much for them to handle. Full 5-man team wipe, and there's the point on the board for Team Sven as Team Disciple loses Volskaya Foundry. The start of a comeback here in game number 3. Nicely done. GG. Well played. Okay, seems like we have a comeback starting up slowly. At least potentially. This is obviously match point number 2 now that Team Disciple has. We're going to Towers of Doom, but it is map number 4 in the series, and Team Sven has finally been able to put a point onto the board. The first thing that happens is the Vikings get banned, and I can totally understand. A little bit sad that they get banned, because I love to see a good Viking game, but Sven is known to play Vikings, he's known to play them Towers of Doom, and if you're not confident that you can play against them or you can beat them, then just ban them out. So that's exactly what's happening here. I still don't really know if that pick into Putrid Bile was a mistake. It certainly looked like one. I wish I had the time in the to ask Nagron, but honestly, I don't understand why you would go for Bile. The composition that they drafted was a composition that clearly was aiming to isolate targets after they get gorged, or at least stun them out. You have Turan the stun, you have Gravity Lapse, you have Chen. There's like too much. I think it was a misclick on the ult, and that kind of ruined the entire way that they had to play the composition and play the game out. Then it was made more difficult through Medivh taken also by Team Sven. But the red team played a great game. I have to still say there were so many situations where both of the teams were just like fighting it out for like minutes at a time, where essentially nobody really died. That was just crazy. And if some of these would have flipped the other way and Team Disciple would have been able to get some wins, that would have been huge. But now they are threatening Stitches apparently on the side of Team Sven. Malfurion gets taken once more, which means that Scourge can't take it. And we get Medivh again. I totally understand that they take Medivh, because that brought them a lot of success in the previous one. And now Team Disciple has to prove that they can deal with Medivh. And it gets really interesting here. It seems that Team Sven has now decided that what they are going to do is they are picking Malfurion away from Scourge. They don't want to waste one of their bans for it, but they're totally comfortable playing Banana H on Malfurion. So they're just saying like, hey, okay, what are you going to do? Brightwing plus Dehaka, good picks here for Team Disciple, and Junkrat is not bad either. I suppose that with Medivh taken, what we're going to see is a ban on Stitches for the blue team. But still, you can do a lot with Medivh. Junkrat with traps. Once that we have the portal coming up, traps are going to be thrown out. Mal'Ganis, okay. So they're banning out Mal'Ganis here, which can also be annoying. Anything that like CCs you, stuns you, traps you, puts you to sleep. If you have portal control with this, you can do a lot. Now, they're coming in with a Vala ban. Okay, so yeah, if you have Malfurion plus the shield. Don't want to deal with too much protection on Vala and her auto attacks. No Stitches ban though. They're okay with Stitches. Bit surprising to me. I can understand why you would ban Vala, but why they just don't respect Stitches, not quite sure. Question is, of course, still, are we going to get Stitches? Because you can still play the entire thing with Garrosh again, and can just like portal Garrosh into the opponent. So I think that might be one of the reasons why Team Disciple also decided that they're not going to go for a Stitches ban, because they're like, well, we ban out Stitches, they pick Garrosh, we ban Garrosh, they pick Stitches. So let them pick whatever they want at the front line. Let's just make sure that we're denying the follow-up. Now, Cassia is already taken. Ophia is up. Garrosh, okay, and they go for Ophia. So now we got Ophia for Disciple again, which means that Ophia has now been played in every single game of the series so far. And as I said, I realize that it's not true in most of the games of the series. Hasn't been played in all, right? There was one game where she wasn't played. Yeah. I'm old. So, right now, Uki, final one, is it Stitches or... Nope, they go for Murden. Well, match point number 2, Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Our fourth map between Team Sven and Team Disciple. Team Disciple, here we are. Once again, we have Ophia. The only map where the hero was not played was Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now we have Disciple on Towers of Doom playing her again. Ubi is going for the Haka. We got Snaps, aka Nagrom, with Garrosh for Team Disciple. Scorch on Brightwing, and Morenas is playing Junkrat. Over on the right side of the map, it is Team Sven with Banana H on Malfurion. We got Sven on Zul, Azzy on Cassia, Sesabos is playing Medivh, and Uki is playing Murden for the red team, as they are, of course, hoping to equalize the score in this and force game number 5. Potentially go for the full reverse sweep, take the opponent down, move on to the winner bracket final, and send Team Disciple into the losers bracket. The chance is there. The chance is definitely there, but can they pull it off? That's the question. Shade is level 1 for Zul, and already a couple of portal plays here for Medivh. Yeah, and also talking about plays, a little bit of displacement, and they get the kill on Cassia. For just a second, I was about to say that Junkrat might just have saved Cassia here, but Brightwing and Ophia are able to get the kill. Maybe Disciple is a little bit angry after he just lost to Ophia, his favorite hero. He's like, alright, I saw what you did there, but let me show you again how it's really done. You know, Ophia play was pretty alright, Azzy, but still, I can top this. And I will make you pay right now. So maybe that's the thought process here. I mean, who knows? At least for now, they get first blood. And they're also invading on the camp. They want to steal the opponent's pumpkins away. And it seems like that's going to work out for them. So in an ideal world, they would get both. Move over to the left side and take their own camp too. Medivh just scouting everything out as Garrosh is already moving in. Gets the hit on Cassia. The portal is there immediately. Brightwing assisting Junkrat as they're just battling that out, but Zul dies in the middle to Ophia. Can they save Garrosh though? The answer is yes. It was close, but they're able to pull it off. And now in comes Ophia again. So Disciples has a low and is immediately just like whacking away, shadow waltzing his way through the screen with one hit after another. So not too bad. But Ophia, Disciple, now starting to move through the middle towards the top, as we got on the left the next camp play. Now, 2 kills to 0, early level 4, get the talent advantage, off to a good start. You also have the global with the Hark at the top, moving on against Zul now. But again, the CC coming in as they're moving in on Muradin. And we get the Ring of Leech now for Cassia after the charge strikes on level 1. Now, as is, we have still a bit of a gang coming up in the middle of the map as we have the quick hit against the Haka. Not really too impressed here, even with Muradin coming up. As long as the real damage is missing, you are going to be able to get out there if you are the Haka. Now Brightwing also moving into the middle. They're hoping that they're going to get the kill against Sven. Zul is in trouble, gets a shield, gets a portal, and is able to move out. Yeah, Medivh again, ruining plays all day, every day. Super annoying to go up against him. But yeah, he's a great hero. Great asset if you have a good Medivh player, and of course even more so if you have a team that plays well around him. This is the difference between coordinated play, where everybody is in voice and people actually talk, and there are calls, and just the random clown fiesta that we're seeing in, I don't know, Quick Match, Hero League and whatnot. If you play Medivh there, that's basically just portal and pray. Hoping that somebody uses it and that people actually know how to play around it or not. But, well, in this case now, we got the altars already taken. It happens that the blue team was the one taking 2 out of the 3. Scorch on Brightwing, a little bit low, but they should be able to get away here. Good stacks for Medivh though. He's just following up on Brightwing and getting one hit after another. As Ubi is now coming in on Dehaka and says hello real quickly. There's the lick. Didn't quite know who he would get, but he gets Zool. And they're starting to force this out a bit. As down at the bottom of the map, it's a 1v2 and oh ho ho! Junkrat! Yeah, somebody is getting junked over here. Okay. Some real trash that's getting picked off. Cassia gets the kill, 1v2. That's a little bit embarrassing. I mean, honestly, that's a round. Gotta pay a round right there if you're Morenas, because, yeah, he's trying to ride into battle real quickly. I mean, at least when it comes to the mounts, he's still on the Raccoon mount, so I'll grant him that. That's at least a bit of a win, but oof, getting killed in that situation, that definitely hurts. Now, especially the Eagle. We get level 8 in a couple of seconds. Next altar phase coming up too. Again, they go for Junkrat, and at this point, I'm not quite sure if I feel a bit sorry for him or not. Seems like he has been identified as the free XP tool on the side of Team Disciple. That's the second time that he gets killed. In very quick succession, I might add. But at least this time, the blue team got a counter kill at the top as they went for Zool and they dropped him too. So, Zool is out. And they move towards the middle as Ophia gets attacked, but they go for Muradin. He portals around, but we also have Malfurion in trouble, and he's gone. Malfurion eliminated, and Cesapos dropped really low here. There was a chance for... The reason why Ophia went actually this deep, even into tower range, was simply because she thought she might have a chance to take Medivh down, kill him, and eliminate his stacks. And that would have been quite nice. With 23, he's not about to complete his quest yet or anything of the sorts, but that's a huge chunk. Yeah, Ubi pops the bit of essence that he has. Nice portal control from Junkrat. Could have been a kill, but Dehaka is able to get away. Nice reaction from him, and also the team safeguarding him extremely well here. We got level 10 now up, and once more we're getting the internal feast for Ophia. And they're coming in with a kill attempt. Can they go for him? Muradin is able to get through the portal, but he was already hit by the ult of Garrosh. Moves up to the top again. And yeah, that was a problem. Also another problem for Medivh. Medivh is really finding himself in a situation where he gets closer and closer to being killed. So that's a problem. Very nice move against Junkrat though. Malfurion dies too. Junkrat gets killed. There's the lick, and Cassia is gone. Poor Junkrat. But outside of that, huge fight, and a really successful one too for Team Disciple. Medivh, by the way, he is now sitting at 31 stacks, but also noteworthy that Malfurion went into Twilight Dream. So, yeah, 7 kills to 3. Still the leading experience for them. And we have the next double altar phase coming up. Yeah, it's one of the horizontal spawns. Usually just a trade, so, not really all that exciting. Unless we have one team that feels a little frisky today and thinks that they are going to come in and get themselves a double with some aggressive play. Talking about aggressive plays, by the way, Muradin has also gone into Haymaker. So now we got Twilight Dream, we get Haymaker. So definitely more aggressive moves than you would normally see. And they are portaling up against Uki. And Garrosh is coming in. Dehaka is able to get out. Haymaker is being used. And there's a quick Riptire to the face. But the ult on the left was also channeled. So each team is likely just going to get their own. And that gank attempt that we saw, not really working out. Ooh, the isolation on the other hand, that was a nice one. Oh, very nice ley line. They all lined them up here. Yeah, but they're going to get out. It was a nice little attempt by the red team to get that kill. But, yeah, wasn't meant to be apparently. So now they're all moving down to the next camp. Top right is about to be channeled. So they're going to grab that. And now we have Medivh still flying around fairly easily here. Shots are fired. 28 on each side now for the core. And Medivh is now in a situation where he's so close to completing his quest that he's going to be pretty anxious. This is not the moment where you want to die. We've seen Medivhs in the past that died 39 stacks. So Cesapos is sitting here and is like, yeah, that ain't happening to me. Quest nearly completed for Garrosh on level 1, by the way. So cooldown reduction is soon going to kick in. Always nice, obviously. They go for Murden again. Could get maybe isolation. Haymaker attempt. The leg. The shield. The taunt. The kill. And he's gone. Nice. Like it. Beautiful chain that they executed. And you could also see they were really waiting for some of the tools to come together so that they could guarantee the kill against Murden. And it worked nicely. So, yeah, in the meantime, we have in the middle the next attack coming in. They're trying to go for, well, maybe Azzy over here. Down at the bottom, it's Junkrat, who now escorts the pumpkins in. And that's a bell tower conversion. So the blue team is ahead in experience, they're ahead in structures, and they're ahead in kills. Not a great spot for Team Sven, considering that they are desperately trying to get to game number 5. I think now Ubi is dead, though. Now he's most likely not going to make it. Isolation is out, Essence is used. Oh my god. Does he still have Burrow? He does, but no, he's dead. He's dead. This time he's dead. He did amazing. Like, don't get me wrong. That was a pretty fantastic escape attempt. But now they're also isolating the next target. So Brightwing is dead and the quest is completed for Medivh. So this went from bad to worse for the blue team. Oh my god. And even Cassia survives. But I gotta give some credit to the Haka. That was nicely done. 5 shots fired. That's the cost of those 2 kills. It allowed Morenas to easily go and channel the single altar that spawned on the map. So we still have a level advantage. But yeah, a little bit of an interesting situation at the top. Now, they should be able, with the help of Zul and everybody that roamed now down to the bottom of the map, to get themselves the fort here at the bell tower. But yeah, all in all, interesting dynamic that all of a sudden unfolds on this one. But once that they can't gank like this anymore, it's going to get a bit more tricky. They have to be careful that no playmaker move is being made. Malfurion saving the day for them. And, well, as they still hold on to the bell tower for just a tiny little bit longer, they're also trying to go for the pumpkins here to lock them in as well. So, as it stands, we're still getting the next hit right there. A little bit of damage through all of this. Level 16 talents are, for example, now also available, which gives us Critter Rise. And we got the spread volley. Here comes exactly what I talked about earlier, the Haymaker play. And they are able to follow that up, so Garrosh dies. Haymaker and Valkyrie on the same target. That was just a bit too much for him to handle. Now we have the triple altar phase coming up, and the timing is a bit iffy. At least if they lose Junkrat. And he is not going to make it. Actually, he might be able to. Scourge is helping out too, but that means Brightwing is now eating the damage and dies. And that's all happening as we have 3 altars about to spawn. Now, Garrosh is maybe gonna be back semi in time, but for example, Brightwing, she can always global in once she respawns, but if we're honest, this should be 2 altars, 2-1. The Haga is at least gonna get the top left, or is he? With the yeah, nice, he's able to get that done before the interrupt even happens. 3 shots fired. It seems like a bit of a bait down here, but it's as expected, 2-1 on the altar side. That helps the red team to catch up a bit. 20 points to 17 is what we're looking at. Orphea with top damage in the game, sitting at 40,000. We have 30,000 for Cassia now on the red team side. Looking again to catch Murden. Murden has died twice, and both were beautifully executed chain CC trains that they were running on him, and then getting the damage in. Playing it extremely well, dodging out playmakers and everything else too. But now we have the tunnels opening up to give the teams a little bit more control over the macro game. 8 kills to 7, so very, very even 4th map between them. There's a lot on the line. Team Sven doesn't want to drop down into the lower bracket now. They want to bring this to map number 5. Whereas Team Disciple is, of course, very interested in not having to play the 5th map and qualifying directly for the winner bracket final. If we're making it to a 5th map, if we are going to game 5, I can already guarantee you that Medivh is going to get banned. That would be the minimum that happens here. Medivh is just too impactful as the teams play well around him. And every single time that you go up against a good Medivh player, it gets tricky. And this is now the 2nd time on the road that they're playing with him, and you can totally see the impact that he has. Rapid Harvest and Weaken is what we got for Zul. Wave clear, obviously. He's going to be the one rotating between lanes 6 days to Sunday throughout all of this. Double altar coming up at the bottom of the map now. And yeah, quest also nearly completed for Dehaka here. We have Ophia with a lot of extra damage as well. So right now, it's going to be the next one. Could get that. Only 2 away. This fight should actually help Ophia to complete it. Dehaka and Brightwing are the 2 now attempting to channel. Ophia already sitting tight. 1 more hit and she completes the level 7 quest and can capitalize on that. They're all looking for kills here. Engage on Brightwing. Get the ult out. Sven is now the one trying to channel. Dehaka moved towards the top and is going for the second altar. Will be interrupted though. Here comes Ophia and they're blocking Muradin. Nice block on him. Disciple with really good damage, as especially Cassia is in trouble here. As he's slowly moving out, Dehaka went in. Medivh with another interrupt down at the bottom of the map. Ophia is now the one trying to complete this one, and she gets it. First altar is already taken. First altar taken, and they can still fight for the second one. That's what they're trying for here. So once again, Muradin a little bit isolated. Big chumps coming in from Disciple. Ophia getting good damage out, sitting at 50,000 now overall, and they're getting closer to level 20. They're half a level away from Storm Talons. And that altar is still in play. And Dehaka is moving to the top. He still has his global up. He could come down here if he needs to. But can they get the interrupt on Malfurion? And the answer is no. Malfurion gets it. They're zoning well enough to protect him. And now it's going to be level 20. And this is also where Team Disciple has to make a couple of plays. They're going for their pumpkins already, which is of course important, but there's a boss on the map. You might be interested in taking another bell tower. Eternal Feast now with the monster within right there. He's going to get quite a few hits on this. I haven't seen any kills in that last fight. So now they go for that bell tower at the bottom of the map again. Muradin, Stormbolt, jumps, wants the playmaker, and gets denied. Not able to do it. Nearly gets killed. Riptire, barely avoided. That bell tower is mega low, and Zul isn't here. Zul is trying to get them to 20. Here comes the Haymaker, the ley line. Muradin gets the portal and is out. But that bell tower is going to be taken. It needs to be taken. They need to take it right now as Zul is flanking in from the top. So bell tower is claimed. Zul already with his ult, as Sven is now moving back out. They're going to get level 20 also in a few more seconds. But of course, getting that bell tower is big. 5 versus 3 situation, and they want the pumpkins too. So they're coming in on the pumpkins, grabbing those. Both teams now with level 20. Medivh cheating as always. We get the Astral Communion now. And Muradin with Rewind, making him even more dangerous. Not going into the upgrade for his level 10 ability. But we're getting Cassia with Titan's Revenge. Yeah, Garrosh. I'm just waiting the entire time for that Valkyrie, but cooldown is not ready for it yet. So can't use it. Single altar spawn currently. And they're going to try and keep them at bay long enough so that they can try and get those 5 shots. But here comes again that isolation play. And big problem for Garrosh. But even with the ley line, they can't make the move. Garrosh is alive. Junkrat, though, he is dead. Junkrat is dead. 5 versus 4. And there's definitely a bit of a theme on this one. Junkrat has now been killed 4 times. And it is a massive, massive issue. So as it stands right now, there's the connect once more from Garrosh as they're trying to slowly disengage. But the portal chase is way too much for them to deal with. Brightwing comes in, wants the heals, the ley lines, and Garrosh still with a shield, trying to get out, throws them around, left, right, left, but eventually they come in and they get their kill. Honestly, the chase, insane. The altar, by the way, has been channeled, so they're down to single digits right now. They want the momentum here. Late game momentum on Towers of Doom is everything, but they gave up the altar. And now they need to take some bell towers. They get Orphea. If they can get those structures quickly, that would be a huge win. Ubi is trying to disengage, but there will be another portal for sure. They just don't have the CC to this time capitalize on it. So Junkrat back in 2 seconds. Then they have 3 defenders on the map. The bell tower in the middle was taken too. So it's a really weird situation because Team Sven got kills, and they got a lot of them. They chased them through the entire map from right to left. But in the meantime, not only did the bell tower get claimed in the mid lane, but also the altar got channeled by Team Disciple, putting the red team down to 7 points on the core. And by the time that we have the next double altar up, most of the heroes of the blue team will be back. And the tunnels are open, so Ophir, even though she spawns slightly afterwards, will be able to come in here. Bell tower in the middle, reclaimed. Bell tower at the bottom of the map as well. So now it's a 4 versus 4 situation. And I don't think that they can go for the bottom control here. So, double channel, possible. They try to go, the lick to prevent the Stormbolt. Nice, good move by the Haka. So Junkrat is channeling, and yep, right wing. No, they didn't get it. Oh, so close, and look at that move from Cassia. Nice. Really, really cool moves here from both sides now. The channel has happened. Red team gets the first altar. They channeled the bottom. The Haka was a second too late. Now Muradin! Muradin, and he is... he's still alive, and he gets the portal. Yeah, he's still alive. They're trying to switch targets again. It's Zul that they focus on next, and he goes down. Zul is down. Here comes the Astral Communion. Also the Playmaker, as they try to get Ophir isolated. Another big ley line, but Ophir comes in with big damage as usual. Ooh, and then gets moonfired and killed. Nice. 4 versus 4 now. And Ophir has 90,000 damage. Her getting destroyed is big because, again, this is where most of the damage comes from the blue team. So now we have 12 points on the core against 7. And Malfurion wants the channel, and I just don't see the interrupt happening. They're giving this up, which means it's 8 points to 7 on the core. We could go to game number 5, everybody. Game number 5 is an option here. Could happen. We could see a reverse sweep. They're fighting tooth and nail here the entire time. Ophir with big damage, but the game here, it's... Oh, God, and the ley line. Medivh, such a nuisance. They're able to save the targets, though. Yeah, well, I thought so. And then all of a sudden, there comes the Valkyrie. But even then... Nagrom is absolutely murdering it on Garrosh, by the way. I mean, I'm not saying he has an easy game here or anything. He died 2 times. But he's been crushing it. He saved so many heroes that would have died otherwise. He's just flipping people left, right, left. Like, trying to deny plays of the opponent by denying a Stormbolt, by denying a follow-up. And it's all hinging, of course, around these ley lines and the portals that we're seeing coming through from Medivh over and over again. Now they're trying for the Haka once more. He's getting chased, tries to get away here, avoids the portal and is able to make it. But the danger that comes from these portals and from Cesabor's plays with Medivh is just crazy. And the blue team is doing exceptionally well, all things considered, but I'm not sure if they're strong enough to beat this. I really don't know. So right now here comes the next move for Muradin. Well, they get the cam. Actually, for Garrosh, my bad. Brightwing is in time. But there's the taunt. Riptire. He's willing to die if they just get kills, and they do. They kill Malfurion. Maybe more. They go for Muradin. They kill them all. It's a quad kill. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
That was massive, huge plays there. Ophir with a channel at the bottom of the map, and now they can go for the boss. The altar is channeled. This is gonna be game. What an unbelievable last game in that series. No way that Sven is able to deal with it. He gets attacked. That's a 5-man team wipe right there. And we have a 3-1 victory for Team Disciple as Team Sven drops into the losers bracket and the blue team moves on to the winner bracket final. Nicely done. What a game here on Towers of Doom. GG and well played.